No, it's Super Saturday. I clean. Welcome back, Spider Pig. It's your boy. Back with another Super Saturday. Y'all already know our guy Unrelentless got some great content up this week. It's a good thing that my system was having a problem recording the last couple days, because he just dropped the second part of the video, no, the third part, because we got 3 videos, a couple shorts, but you already know. Let's get to it.
In a dimension where realities converge, Vegeta, the Saiyan Prince, stood against Akuma, the embodiment of Satsui no Hado. The desolate battlefield, steeped in an ominous energy, amplified their intense auras. Akuma, with dark power radiating from him, faced Vegeta's unflinching determination. Their clash shook the ground, a display of raw power and martial prowess. Akuma's formidable Shungoku Satsu clashed with Vegeta's own might, pushing him to the edge. In this critical moment, Vegeta tapped into his deepest reservoir of strength, unleashing the formidable Ultra Ego form. This epic showdown, transcending worlds, was a testament to their indomitable spirits, with Vegeta's relentless pursuit of power and mastery shining as a spectacle of unparalleled might and resolve.
When Goku trolled Vegeta, my Bulma moment. In the DBS anime, Vegeta rejects the Super Saiyan God ceremony, saying he'll surpass Goku with his own efforts, and so Goku answers he is completely right, since he got a crazy power-up when Bulma was hit by Beerus. What did you do to my Bulma? Vegeta could only stutter when Goku came up with the "What did you do to my Bulma?" In Battle of Gods, the reaction is even funnier. Vegeta gets totally embarrassed and starts blushing when Goku imitates his "My Bulma" rage.
Oh, speaking of power-ups, when Bulma got hit, you sure went crazy, huh? My Bulma! That was funny.
He even jokes that in the next fight, they should let Bulma get slapped so that Vegeta goes all crazy again. But in the end, the one that gets the slap is Goku.
I guess the next time we're fighting someone that strong, we'll just have to get him to slap Bulma and then we'll be all good, right? That's really funny!
Death, and so you must hurry, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super
Next, unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Well, this certainly doesn't look good, because even though I am quite surprised to see the lengths that Goku Black was shown putting himself through in order to obtain such a sinister power, I do, however, hope that our heroes are indeed ready for what they're about to go and face down there. Because anything less than their absolute best, then they could all go and kiss their lives goodbye within the battle.
As our story now continues, following the initial events of Goku Black having to now unveil his newly found Makaioshin transformation, as even now with future Zamasu out of the equation following the initial attack that Goku Black had committed upon him, it was only as our heroes were now beginning to discuss of a plan was when Goku then went on to chime in, "Bro, this doesn't look like it'll be an easy battle here, Vegeta, and so how do you think we should go and approach him down there?" With Vegeta responding, So we'll need to try and find some kind of an opening that'll expose any weakness of his that this new form of his is going to have if we hope to stand a chance here against him. Well, if this form of his is supposed to mimic what it's like for him to draw his full potential out like Gohan, Goku continues, along with being able to combine that with the power of destruction, then we should. But then, it was only surprisingly now from out of nowhere in between both Goku and Vegeta was when full-powered Super Saiyan Broly had then taken initiative in going as far as to take liberties within his own hands in going after Goku Black by himself, as Vegeta then went on to shout, "What the? Oh, damn it! Wait! What is he doing? No, wait! Broly, don't do it!" Goku then shouts. "We don't know what it is that we're going up against down there with him, and so you've got to try and calm down and listen to us! Broly, don't do this!" As Vegeta then went on to continue, "Oh, damn him! He's went and lost complete control of himself and is now acting on his instincts to go and attack, and so he is not within the right state of mind to act on his own." So the brute volunteers to offer himself as being the first of my many victims here against you all now, does he? Well, good. Then let us start by setting the example by showing you the difference between our power, along with why your uncontrollable rage will only take you so far, Saiyan. Now let me ask, what do you think true power is without the ability to control and use it the way it was intended? Well, it's simple. For raw power without any proper direction to guide it to where it needs to be is useless. To which only then seconds later within that very moment, as Broly was then shown having to have shards of glass impaled all throughout his body, was when Goku Black then went on to continue, "And with this pain that you are about to experience, I just want you to know one thing, and that is no matter how strong that you think you are, and no matter how tough you assume for your warrior spirit to be, primal savages like yourself will never be comparable to the true might of an actual god." To which it was only then with just the snap of his fingers, with Goku Black then shown having to explode Broly in the sky before Broly's body was shown making its way back down, was when Gohan then went on to chime in, "That monster has absolutely lost it, and we just can't stand around here and watch him carry this out like this." "Oh, and can you feel that just now?" Gohan questions. "Broly's energy, it's completely fallen," as Piccolo then went on to chime in. "And what's even more chilling is that he did it with ease, which is telling, because this only now means that Goku Black is far stronger now than how he was ever originally shown being just a few moments ago after all. And what's even worse is that he truly wasn't bluffing about what he was able to do with this power of his either. And so if he was able to go and take Broly down like that," Piccolo continues, "then we've got to be careful or else we're next." "Oh, just great. And although he doesn't look good down there," Piccolo adds, "he still seems to be alive down there, which is all that matters right now, because we can't afford to have anyone perish in this battle against him, and so he's lucky," with Gohan responding, No, we can't allow for this to stand, and so we've got to try and make a move on him now, while we still have the capacity to go and do it all together, or else he'll go and do onto each of us, just as it was that he just did with Broly if we do it alone." And now then, with one down, Makaioshin Goku Black went on to then respond, "That just leaves 4 who remain, and so I'll try and offer you all 3 chances to try," Black adds, which essentially means 3 strikes and you're done. "So while I'll go and allow for you all to go and do as you wish if you think that it'll make any sort of difference against me, as once I count you all down after your 3 attempts of attacking me is when this long fabled story of ours comes to an end. And so you'd better make each attempt count, because you won't be given another chance to go and try any of it against me again." But it was only just upon with Makaioshin Goku Black being shown having to say this was when Ultra Ego Vegeta and Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku were then shown having to make their way down towards him, as Goku then went on to respond, "Vegeta, we have no other choice, and so we've got to go and attack him now and see if we could move him," with Vegeta responding, "Well, whatever this power of his is capable of, try not to get caught in between its clutches, Kakarot. But even then, despite with both Goku and Vegeta attempting to attack Black at the same time, with Black being shown having to grab onto their attacks by stopping them, was when Goku Black then went on to respond. So, you choose to go and attack me as one now, do you? Just like old times, isn't that right? But do you want to know the difference between then and now, Black questions? Because it should be crystal clear to you right now as I am, for I have become everything that the two of you have ever even dreamed of becoming, which is why you are still shown struggling, whereas I am at my absolute peak, mortals. And this is why you are both weak, because unlike you, I fight without fear. And that is why you are both weak, because unlike you, I fight without fear. And without the concept of fear to eat away at my growth like how it did before, Black adds, I am without flaws. As even with despite Goku Black being shown having to swipe Ultra Ego Vegeta away upon being shown attempting to hit Goku, with Goku being shown leaning out of the way, was when Goku then went on to respond, oh, not a chance, cause you're delusional to think that we aren't going to do whatever it is that we need to if it means taking you down once and for all, just like it once was when we went and had taken you down before, with Black responding, why, you insolent little, well, try and avoid me all that you want, Black says, because if you truly think that running away and keeping yourself from having me reach you is going to work against me, well, then I want you to watch and see how wrong you fools truly are to think that I haven't went and prepared myself for everything. But how's about I continue to go and show you by going out of my way to go and take out another, Black says, and who better to go and target next than you, wretched Namekian. As it was only from out of nowhere with Black shown having to avoid Vegeta's strike upon being shown teleporting behind Piccolo, and from that point them being shown having to knock Piccolo back down onto the ground, was when Gohan then went on to shout, no, what have you done? Oh no, Piccolo, hang on, Piccolo! I'm coming in, so just try and hang on! Oh, damn you, Black! He was off guard, and you know it, with Black then having to respond, and then there were three, and ironically the third and final chance that you mortals will be given to go and try to compete with me, because in case you've already forgotten, once I decide that your time here against me is finally up and ready to be over, will be the very moment where I will go and carry out what I set to go and accomplish a long time ago, and that is to go and rid you worms of your miserable lives for good. But even then, while this was all shown happening, surprisingly enough elsewhere, as Zamasu was then shown on the ground yet still alive and moving the rubble off of his body as he was struggling to breathe, as Zamasu then went on to utter, oh, they can't fail against him. I must try and find a way to stop him while I'm still able to fight. But please, whatever he throws your way, do not allow for him to win. You must not let this monster have his way and win. This is our one and only chance, and so now, Vegeta, quickly go and try to hold him in place, and I'll go and hit him with my Kamehameha immediately, and so hurry. Bro, I'm going to do more than just hold that coward in his place, because I'm going to go and tear that ugly body of his apart when I reach him. Now try not to miss, and you better make this quick, Kakarot. Now, was I lying when I told you that there was more to me than meets the eye when I first touched down onto this planet, Gohan? But then, it was only from out of nowhere with Ultra Ego Vegeta shown having to swoop in with a ferocious punch to Black's face upon also being shown knocking his Potara off, was when Vegeta then went on to respond, oh, stop attempting to go and talk down to us and understand that we aren't going to let you get away with what you've done. But even then, with Goku Black shown slowly having to turn his head and acknowledging the fact that Vegeta's attacks simply weren't going to work, was when Goku Black then went on to turn his attention towards Vegeta by then responding, my, such aggression, Vegeta. But I'd be lying if I said that I didn't feel that one just now, which I'm actually surprised myself to say the least. But I'm starting to wonder on how long you can try to keep that going before you tire yourself out. Well, how's about we go and put this little theory of mine to the test and see? To which within that very moment back with Goku, before Goku was even able to fire off his Kamehameha upon having to notice the falling Potara having to make its way down, was when Goku then went on to respond, hey, wait, is that? Yes, it is Potara earring. But of course, and with Vegeta's show knocking it off his ear, maybe, just maybe that Potara could prove to be much more useful to us in the long run. I'd have to go and try to retrieve it before Black does, and so it's better to be safe with one than without it. How truly amazing. Isn't this quite the sight to behold? Black questions upon being shown grabbing onto Vegeta and Gohan's attacks. For I'm sure that neither of you had ever expected to face me here today, let alone get the chance to witness such a monstrous level of power. But now I want to know, so are you starting to see that you are all without a chance of winning? Black questions? As if I didn't take the time that I had to look into your evolutions. No, for I made sure to go and do just that, so that moments like these would become an absolute reality for me, along with it becoming an absolute nightmare for you. As I knew that by evolving this body the way I did, Black proceeded upon being shown smashing Vegeta and Gohan's body together, would it only grant me the power that I was looking for in order to crush any of you who dares to stand in my way like how it was that you were all shown doing before, as the only thing that is missing now is my direct Kaioshin link that'll ensure my status as a permanent god too. And if that revolting little backstabbing Kaioshin Zamasu wasn't meant to be my direct link, Black adds, then I will go and find another once I am done slaughtering all of you, along with every last living soul on this disgusting planet, mortals. For this is why I am the way that I am, and maybe now you can open your eyes to what it was that I had said to be true, as you should already come to grips with the fact that none of you, even while you try to band together, will never be strong enough to overcome me. Oh darn it, what an absolute mess. Goku went on to proceed by running towards the Potara, but I have to go and hurry and reach that Potara earring because maybe it could be some kind of use to us in the long run, if and only if we can prove to hold him off long enough while we're able to fight together. And so I'll need to just go and hold on to that thing just in case we have no other choice but to use it. However, the only problem now is that we only have one, which means that if anything, without another earring, I'll be forced to maybe go and try to ask the Supreme Kai to lend me his if we're backed into a corner with no other means of escaping or beating him. But even then, I hope that I'm not too late. And so where is it? Yes, there it is. And it's still in one piece, and it doesn't look like it's broken in any kind of way either, but there appears to be something more that I'm sensing, and it's faint, but I can sense something around the area here, but what could that be? We watched Zamasu get blown away by Black, and so it can't possibly be Zamasu, can it? No, I've got to try to dig around here and see what I could find and locate whatever kind of power that is that I'm feeling. Oh, curse that bastard. Vegeta went on to then quickly sit back up by then responding, and just how in the world did we manage to land ourselves in a situation like this is beyond me, but either way, there must be some kind of weakness to this form of his that we have yet to exploit. There just has to be, for no warrior, no matter how divine, is without their blind spots, Vegeta continues, and with the way he appears to be wielding that destroyer power of his, only goes as far as to imply that he's not only just mimicking the strength of a god of destruction, but has rather studied their methods of how to use it in combat too. And yet in that imitation, Vegeta continues upon Makaioshin Black being shown attacking Gohan, there must lie some kind of vulnerability, for my victory against him lies not only in having to overpower him, but in outmaneuvering him as well, further exploiting the moments where his destruction becomes his biggest opening, which will then inevitably lead him to make many mistakes along the way, Vegeta continues, and that's where I'll need to go and take him, but thus far, it only looks as though he may have gone as far as to conceal any weakness that this form of his may have, and and so I'll need to go and try and continue to push my way through and find whatever I can before he destroys us in the process. Oh, but what is it? He's holding back, which means that he's likely intending to continue fighting us until he more than likely breaks us all down one by one. But in the time where he goes and continues to fight us, Vegeta adds, there must be something that we can throw his way that'll slow him down and give us the window of opportunity that we've been hoping for, and from there going as far as to put an end to this freak once and for all. But meanwhile, back with Goku, while in the process of being shown retrieving the fallen Potara earring, it was only just as Goku was beginning to then sense something was when Goku then went on to add, now where could that be coming from? It's faint, but I can still feel it nearby, but just where am I supposed to? Wait a minute, there, Goku shouts. It's Zamasu, and it looks like he's still alive. Yes! No, I've got to go and hurry, to which as Goku was then shown teleporting towards Zamasu and having to then find him was when Goku then went on to question, hey, are you alright? Now hang on, try not to move around too much because you're in really bad shape, but boy, am I glad to see that you're still alive, Zamasu, and so now just hold on, okay? Son Goku, so you were still alive yourself. Good. I'm sorry for not being able to stop him when I did, as I just wasn't strong enough to do it, with Goku then responding, hey, listen, it's not your fault, okay? You were blindsided by him, and so you couldn't have known that this would happen, but I'm going to give you a bit of my energy now, so that way you can stand back up. But then, it was only just as Zamasu had gone as far as to interrupt Goku by stopping him was when Zamasu then went on to add, oh, stop it. Don't be ridiculous to go and waste your energy on me, as it won't do you any good by giving me your power, but I need you to listen to me very carefully, Goku. With the little bits of time that we have left that remains, and while we are still able to fight, if we continue to wage this war against him as we currently are, then it's only going to be a matter of time before he destroys you all if something isn't done. And while fighting him alone will only get you all so far, after looking through the annals of history and witnessing your first battle against him, I can now see what must be done, and so you must find a way to go and make this count, or else all will be lost if you don't. And so now listen, take my Potara earring along with the one that was shown falling off of Black's ear, and use them both while there's still a bit of time that remains to fuse with Vegeta immediately. And since I've seen you and Vegeta use these Potaras before, Zamasu adds, our only chance lies in having you both fuse if we hope to put a stop to Goku Black once and for all. And so now hurry, for if you don't go and take these few minutes that we have to go and do this, then our only hope of destroying that abomination and putting an end to his terror would have all been for nothing. For I saw how great your fusion once was against my counterparts, and with the knowledge that you have on the Potaras being limited with the amount of time that you have, take this moment to go and remember what it is that I am telling you, and go and use fusion and obliterate that monster once and for all. And so now go and do it now while the others are able to still hold his attention, so that way this doesn't fail. Please, Goku, you must hurry, with Goku responding, fusion? But how are we to be so sure that it'll work this time, especially when considering on how me and Vegeta had diffused a lot quicker than what we thought we would the moment we tried to go and use more of our full power against you. I mean them, the other, Zamasu fusion guy, with Zamasu responding, I'm not, and so there's no telling on what may happen once you go and fuse with him again, but no matter the outcome, Zamasu adds, this is the greatest shot at stopping him because we won't be able to survive if we go and continue to fight him alone, and so now take this and do what you must. Now please don't make me regret this, son Goku, for I trust that you will go and do what you can so that way this could all be over, with Goku responding, oh man, well if that's the case then I'll go and try to get Vegeta to try and agree with me in using these one more time, so that way we could go and use the knowledge of our battle against Merge Zamasu from the last time and go all out from the beginning and destroy that monster for good. But it was only just before Goku was shown having to take off and trying to get Vegeta to agree with him was when Zamasu had gone as far as to grab onto Goku's shirt by then responding, listen, I want you to look at me and swear that you will do everything within your nature to go and use those earrings and finish that beast off while we still have the time, as whoever it is that he claims to be is not what represents me, for him and I could not be further apart, and so you have to make sure that you will go and use them, and if if not with Vegeta, then with somebody else, but as long as they are used, then we cannot win. Do you understand? You must use them. And unless a miracle were to happen and we are able to somehow slow him down, whether that is due to our own efforts or as a result of that form of his backfiring, these Potaras are all that stand between life and death, and so you must hurry, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of Goku Black's Resurrection manga chapter number 18 special then comes to a close.
Actually, I'll go and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something with all of our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing. As not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link it all down in the description box below and pinned comment section. Now I will go as far as to say that even though I am quite shocked to see the lengths that Goku Black had went to in order to achieve such a dangerous level of power, what's even more frightening about it all is the way he appears to be using it in battle against our heroes too. But even now, while hope appears to be dwindling away more and more with each passing moment, there is, however, a small window of opportunity that lies in wait for them if they wish to survive. But will they be able to capitalize is the question, because if they don't, they could go and kiss everything they've ever grown to love and know goodbye. So you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, as before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to Unreal Ent Gaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal Ent Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
Which parent are you? In the bustling city of Nutriville, a group of extraordinary individuals has emerged, known far and wide as the Superfood Parents. They are on a mission to transform their families' lives through the power of nutrition, one delicious bite at a time. Meet Chef La Kita Marie, the culinary mastermind behind the Superfood Parents playbook. With boundless enthusiasm, she welcomes you to embark on a thrilling journey to becoming a true superfood hero. But what exactly does that mean? In Nutriville, superfood parents are everyday heroes. These superfood parents lead the charge for better health, but not with capes. They lead with carrots, and whole food fats like avocados. And instead of masks, they lead with mangoes and berries. Fruits and vegetables are the disease-destroying arsenal of heroes. Are you a disease destroyer superhero for your loved ones? Fruits and veggies fuel the mission of heroes like Veggie Vixen. Are you a Veggie Vixen for your loved ones? Dedicated to ensuring their loved ones thrive on a diet rich in faves, fruits and vegetables. Here's your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to guide your family to superhero status by reaching the highest levels of health and wellness daily. Become a plant-powered titan, a superfood avenger, or even a faves crusader by earning 5 points for every fruit or vegetable eaten. It's a fun-filled quest where nutrition meets excitement. All of the digital details are at superfoodparents.com for the full experience. Superfood Parents has also created workbooks, where you'll discover the tools you need for success. These workbooks give you the heroic strategies to craft your grocery list like a seasoned hero. Which means you now have a playbook to even track your weekly meals like a true champion. And engage in mind-bending nutritional education with word searches that will keep your family entertained and informed. So, are you ready to join the ranks of the superfood parents? Are you prepared to unleash the power of faith and make every meal a heroic endeavor? If so, flip the page of the Superfood Playbook and let's begin your journey to becoming the ultimate superfood hero.
To become a sponsor, just visit superfoodparents.com.
Sounds like you're being a little bitch, Vegeta. Kakarot, the literal last time I fought him, he poked my head and I got knocked out. Motherfucker, I've been poked in the head by Michael Strong and Florida Man. You think you scare me, Beerus? You ain't shit. Like I said, I'm one transformation from becoming that. You know what? I ain't even about to do that. All right, Saiyan, number one, I can kill you with 80% of my power. Let's be honest about that. Yeah, you've gotten stronger, but I can do that. Number two, I'm not fighting anyone until I get my damn pudding. Whis! Yes, my lord. Where's my shit? Well, I'll run to Bulma and grab it right away. You two play nice. It's not that I'm scared fighting him, but I also know how to pick my battles. I've grown wise in my age, Kakarot. Is Whis back with my pudding? Okay, no. So, saying if you touch me, I'm gonna kill both of y'all by nuking this fucking planet. Kakarot, he's not playing around. And you know I'll do it. Prove it. Well, let's run them hands, though. Let's run them. Cool.
The battle between Goku and Baby in Dragon Ball GT was almost poetic in a way because it symbolized the final battle of the last survivors of the race that once inhabited planet Vegeta. I've always found it very interesting that these two races are symbolically very different in that one is purely power-driven, brawn, brute strength, and the other is much more scientific, preferring to use their brains over their power. And even though Dragon Ball GT did not have very much, I guess, creative input from Toriyama did write the original notes for their backstory way back in Dragon Ball Z, as we saw in Dragon Ball Z episode 20 when these were animated in a filler scene that kind of gave us the backstory. So as I'm sitting here and I'm reading these translations for the Dragon Ball GT Perfect Files for another video I'm working on, I was captivated by an article that's in the GT Perfect Files, or a column or whatever, about these two races, and I thought, why not make an edition of Dragon Ball In Depth discussing the history of the two races, the conflict between them, as well as the impact that it wound up having on Dragon Ball as well as Dragon Ball GT. And it really is thought-provoking too as to how this somewhat can mirror the real world in some ways. Anyways, let's get to it right now. So before we begin the actual content of the video, I want to put a quick disclaimer up. Number one, we're going to be discussing events that are discussed in the GT Perfect Files and the story and the backstory told there, with that and the original anime, not Dragon Ball Super, which contains tons of Toriyama retcons like Broly and Bardock and many changes to the backstory. Those will not be discussed in this video. It's just about what was originally written back in the 90s. Number two, like with other Dragon Ball in-depths, I try to maintain it as accurate as possible to the original Japanese, so I will be referring to the Saiyans as Saiyans, and I will be referring to the Tuffles as Sufurians, because that is their correct name, Saiyajin and Sufurujin. I won't be using dub terms in this video. Hope you understand that, but we're doing it because I always try to make these as authentic as possible. But we're gonna have a good time. Let's get to part one. Now, a little bit later in this edition of Dragon Ball In Depth, we're going to go through a timeline of events here, but I want to say that we're going to focus primarily on, like I said, the Saiyan-Sufurian battle, not anything with Frieza, because that would come later. This whole kind of story begins all the way back in age 238, approximately, when we talk about the history, and it evolves from there. But first, I want to discuss what was in the GT Perfect Files, which is the philosophical differences between the two. So we have the Sufurians and the Mighty Saiyans. Now, the Sufurians are a scientific race. They really are gifted as far as intellect goes. They invented many machines like the original Scouters, although that was retconned by Toriyama later on, worn on your ear or on your face or whatever. You can measure your enemy's battle power, which would probably come in handy in the upcoming Civil War. But of course, we know who won that war, and then the real winner of this war was Frieza, because he wound up getting and adopting this technology for himself. But like I said, that was retconned by Toriyama. Now, as I've said in the past, the Saiyans are a class-based society that measures your value based on whatever battle power you're born with. They are a warlike race. They always want to fight. They always want to get stronger. And it states in the GT Perfect Files that even a squad of just 5 of them can reduce a planet to ruins in just a few days. Physically, of course, they're much stronger and have more stamina, making it easier for them to fight. And of course, they also have the ability to transform into a great ape, an Ozaru, and cause a real problem. But the way it was depicted in the Dragon Ball Z anime, it's like the Sulfurians were able to combat that with tanks and laser guns and things like that. So they've got military technology to go against these savages. Now, one fact that a lot of Dragon Ball fans forget is that Planet Vegeta was not the home world of the Saiyans. In fact, this was brought back in Dragon Ball Super when we find out that it was planet Sadala where they originally came from, the Universe 7 version of the planet. This was actually a thing that was even discussed back then, except the word Sadala was not used. Planet Vegeta was originally called Planet Plant, and the entire race migrated there. And in the Perfect Files, it states that they came to the planet from a mysterious spaceship, but we don't know exactly how they got the technology to create this spaceship. The Perfect Files do tease that the planet might still be out there somewhere, which could end up being a story arc in the future, who knows. Now, in the guidebooks, there is a statement, a theory, that the Saiyans were originally Uzarus. They were originally in their great ape form, and as time went by, they gained intelligence and became human, which correlates to what happened to Goku in GT when he gained control of himself to tap into Super Goku 4. It's very possible that the race itself did this first with the regular great ape form, and this was kind of a callback to it. I've always found that to be very fascinating. Now, their king is, of course, as we know, King Vegeta. At the time, he was the strongest of their race, and he's famous for having commanded the army that would eventually wipe out the Sulfurians for good. But what's interesting is that the Sulfurians also had their own king, and of course, as you may know from the GT, the king's cells were used to create Baby, who would end up seeking revenge many years later in Dragon Ball GT. But it is stated that their king was a benevolent king who really maintained peace on Planet Plant until the war happened. Now, although the king of the Sulfurians and the Sulfurian race had superior technology and intellect, one thing that is stated as well is that King Vegeta was a master strategist when it came to battle, and he wasn't just some chump who was a brute, idiot. He actually knew what he was doing as far as how to strategically win battles, and that's what helped them win when everything got bad. We find out that the Sulfurians are actually quite short compared to other races, almost like children, and it's theorized this is because the planet has 10 times gravity, and because they're not really a warrior race, they were never able to truly evolve and adapt to that, so they remained short for however long they were there, whereas the Saiyans were just big, strong dudes who could handle that kind of gravity. So what we have here is a race of powerful fighters and a race of guys who aren't that powerful, but they are smarter. Who would end up winning the fight? Well, the key to all of this is the fact that the Saiyans can become Uzaru, and that wound up being a problem. But in the next section, we're going to be going through the timetable of what actually happened and what led to the complete domination of King Vegeta, how the king of the Sulfurians was overthrown, and the complete domination and conversion from Planet Plant to Planet Vegeta. Plus some extra lore as well. So here in part 2, we're going to look at the timetable of events that would lead to the eventual reign of King Vegeta over Planet Vegeta, and the destruction or the annihilation or genocide, I guess you can say, of the Sifurian race. But first I want to go back to age 238. Real quick little tidbit here. The story of the legendary Super Saiyan, the one that Vegeta talked about on Namek and that's been talked about over and over again, the legend supposedly happened in age 238, which was actually hundreds of years before they would go to planet Vegeta. So that means that whenever this legendary warrior appeared and couldn't control his power and all the stuff that Vegeta said in the anime, when that happened, it was not on planet Vegeta. So it makes you wonder if that could be a reason as to why they wanted a way out of the planet. Maybe he did some kind of damage to the planet. Maybe he was impossible to control and thus destroyed their civilizations. We don't have too much information on this, but I thought it was pretty surprising that the GT Perfect Files reveal that it wasn't on planet Vegeta. Now we go forward in the timeline to age 550, and what ends up happening is the Saiyans are drifting in space. So I guess it wasn't really, they weren't really looking specifically for planet Plant. I guess they were just drifting around according to what the guidebook says, and they found planet Plant where science had flourished in peace is the words that are actually used in the Perfect Files. So they land there and they start to reproduce, right? And it took some years for this to happen. These primeval sort of, you know, Neanderthalish warriors started to gain a little bit more intellect and evolved at an extraordinary rate, but at the same time, their thirst for battle and destruction also grew. So for a time, you have planet Plant where you have the Sifurians in these like cities and, you know, they're mostly on that planet. Meanwhile, the Saiyans are somewhere else on the planet just kind of habitating, and for a while there was cohabitation. They weren't exactly allies or anything, but they were both living on that planet, using up its resources. So as I said, the Sifurians, including their king, approved of them being there. It wasn't really an issue, but then all hell broke loose in age 720 into age 730. That's when the war began. Now, we really don't know exactly what the purpose of the war was. Like, we don't know what triggered the war, but we can theorize that it was just King Vegeta deciding, hey, let's take over these guys already and take over the planet. And maybe his fellow members of the race were just like, yeah, we want to fight, let's just do it, because let's be real, this race, King Vegeta, the Saiyans, they were not good people. I mean, point blank. Goku turned out being a good guy. Of course, King Vegeta's son, Prince Vegeta, of course, would eventually wind up being redeemed and becoming a good guy. And of course, Toriyama's version of Broly also was good. But for the most part, these guys were pricks. And let's not forget that there was a recent retcon that discussed that Prince Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z is actually the fourth Vegeta, which means that the Vegeta that we're discussing here is King Vegeta III. We're not really sure who King Vegeta 1 and 2 were, but it's presumed that they were also the leaders of the Saiyans, and then at some point it was passed down from generation to generation, you know, the royal bloodline, like how it is in the real world. That's not stated in the Perfect Files, but if you combine what was said in the new story and the old story, it somewhat fits, but I'm trying not to do that here for this video. Now, in the GT Perfect Files, in the section about this war, it does discuss that the Sifurians used the remaining technology and the remaining scientific prowess to develop the parasitic life form known as Baby. Of course, that's part of the GT story, and like I said, it's from this guidebook we're getting this stuff from. So this life form gets the genes of King Sufuru and gets launched into space during the battle. Of course, it was an overwhelming victory for the Saiyans, and the entire Sifurian race was wiped out, primarily because the way that they were able to combat the technology was by becoming Uzarus, by becoming great apes, and there was no chance at all for the Sifurians to win. Planet Plant was renamed Planet Vegeta, with King Vegeta III as their leader, and he would reign as the undisputed king of the planet until he was ultimately killed by Frieza, which, by the way, you know, the war ended in age 730, and King Vegeta first met Frieza in age 731 and began a partnership that would last for quite some time until age 737 when the planet got blown up. And it was blown up at the hands of Frieza. So it's very interesting and an ironic twist that they wound up suffering the exact same fate, the same genocide that the Sifurians had went through at their hands, with very few survivors, and those survivors would go to war one more time in Dragon Ball GT. Thank you so much for watching this video, this edition of Dragon Ball In Depth. I appreciate it as always, and I hope you have a great day and take care of yourself and each other.
No, this is maddening! It's bad enough that Kakarot has surpassed me in power, but now his son has too?
Here, take this.
I hate when I'm forced to take these! What are you doing out there? You should have had it! Every time you throw down the gauntlet, you represent the Saiyan race, which means when you fight badly, we all become the fools! You go too easy on your opponents. Take a good look at yourself. 2 of your friends' lives were in the balance. And you crumbled. He's right. So how about Piccolo? Why not Gohan? Certainly you realize your son has the most latent ability of all the fighters we know.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Oh dear, what a frightening and yet terrifying situation that our friends have now found themselves in, as I sure do hope that something changes between them soon, because while I fear that with the Saiyans struggling to make the most of this entire ordeal, if Goku Black continues with his onslaught without any pushback, especially if our heroes start to crumble one by one out there against such a fearsome enemy, then I'm afraid they will all be destroyed by the very end of this battle, along with the entire planet that they are currently fighting to protect as well.
As our story now continues, following the initial events of Makaioshin Goku Black now shown on the attack by going directly after our heroes one by one, as with Makaioshin Goku Black now shown having to target Beast Gohan by from that point them being shown having to knee Gohan in the ribs, was when Makaioshin Goku Black went on to respond, "Ah yes, feeble Saiyan, for your screams are like the sound of music to my ears every single time I go and inflict more and more pain onto your fragile little mortal body. It hurts, doesn't it, Gohan? Did I not go and promise you pain and suffering before your father and your other little mortal friends had arrived? Yes, I did, didn't I? Well, was I wrong, Goku Black questions? No, I wasn't. But how ironic is it that it was after watching and studying the things that you went and did, which ultimately led me into becoming who I am at this very moment in time against you? It's quite poetic since this was something that I should have went and did a very long time ago, but now that I have become all that you mortals have grown to fear, Black proceeds upon being shown grabbing onto Gohan's face, I don't plan on relinquishing any of this anytime soon. And guess what else, Goku Black questions? Before I put an end to your life, I am going to bleed you all dry so that way you may always remember the horrors that you've all went and put me through. But it was only then during this time, unbeknownst to Goku Black, with mastered Ultra Instinct then Goku shown dashing towards Vegeta was when Goku then went on to cry out, "Vegeta, I need you to hurry and listen to me right now because we don't have all of the time in the world to go and pull this off right now. And so I need you to hurry and just do this with me so that way we can go and put an end to this nightmare once and for all. So please, I need you to hurry and put this Potara earring on your ear now while he isn't looking," Goku adds. "For it's clear to us now that we can't go and beat him like this, and so there's only one other way for us to go and do this. There's no telling on what will happen between now and whenever he decides to destroy us," Goku continues, "but if we go and fuse into Vegito, then we can use the memory that we've retained after fighting Merge Zamasu and go all out from the start instead of having to drag our feet within the mud and put an end to him once and for all. But if we are to honestly go and do this, then it must be done right now, and so please, Vegeta, what do you say?" With Vegeta responding, "Oh, how could you, Kakarot? You know how much I despise joining bodies with you." "Oh, but how are you so sure that this is even going to work?" Vegeta questions. "And just how in the world did you even go and manage to get a pair of Potara earrings anyways?" With Goku responding, "I'm not, but it's the only shot that we have right now, Vegeta, as the Potara that you were shown knocking off Black's ear and the one that Zamasu had been wearing that he gave on to me to go and use with you was how I have a pair, and so now please, Vegeta, we're running out of time, and so we have to do this. You worms could never understand the rage that burns within my very soul in knowing of the things that you had went and did to me," Black continues, "because now it's your turn to go and experience that very same pain that I had felt, although wait a minute. Why have those fools suddenly stopped trying to fight me?" Black went on to then look down below by questioning, "What are those mortals possibly talking about down there that's more important than engaging against hold on now, what is Son Goku handing on over to Vegeta? No, but how?" Black went on to then furiously question, "But of course, one of those Potaras belongs to me while the other must have come from the other Zamasu. No, I cannot allow for them to go and use fusion on me like how they were shown facing me and using it before again. They cannot go through with merging together as one like they were shown doing before, for I will not stand to try to have them get the better of me like they have before again." Black went on to then release Gohan by then dashing on down. "Oh no, you Saiyans don't. You will not be afforded the chance to fuse with each other again." To which seconds later, within that very moment, as Makaioshin Goku Black was shown having to clothesline both Goku and Vegeta, was when Goku Black then went on to continue, "You savages have went and crossed me for the very last time, and although I will admit that you almost had me, if I didn't go and turn my attention towards the both of you and seeing what you were doing, then the two of you would have been successful, but you Saiyans are dreaming if you honestly think that I'll go and allow for the two of you to fuse ever again. Not this time you won't. As you Saiyans are out of your minds if you think that I didn't come ready against you, which also meant always being ready for whenever you went and decided to go and use fusion. And now that I tower above you all in power, I could never allow for myself to ever have you mortals go and fuse against me ever again, as I will go and use everything within my power to see that it never happens while you perish in battle against me alone." But then, it was only just when Goku Black was shown having to attempt to strike Goku, with Goku being shown moving out of the way before having to knee Black in the face, was when Goku then went on to respond, "Well, one way or another, you might have the edge over us now, but you and I both know that this isn't going to last very long, Black. And since you appear to be forgetting about who you're dealing with by having to take all of us on by yourself," Goku adds, "it's only going to be a matter of time before you are destroyed." With Goku Black then shown having to lower Goku's knee by then responding, "Oh, is that so? And just what was that supposed to be, Son Goku? Surely that wasn't your best now, was it? Because here," Black adds, "allow me to go and show you on how to really utilize utilize your body in battle, to which as Goku Black was then being shown on the offensive, it had only now looked as though Goku had absolutely no chance in having to counter Goku Black, as Goku Black then went on to continue, "There, are you able to now gain a better understanding on the difference between our power despite sharing the exact same body, Goku?" As I always went on to tell you that we as gods are capable of far more than your puny mortal minds are able to understand. And such is the case with what I have become now, Son Goku. The very embodiment of fear and power itself. And as long as I remain with everything that I know and with all that I am able to accomplish, Black continues, you will forever be casted down to always live beneath my shadow, mortal. And don't think for 1 second that my wrath will end here with you, because once I am done handling my business here and destroy this world, then my next target is going to be that annoying little god of destruction, Lord Beerus. Yes, and since he may in fact be the most troublesome among the bunch, I'll go and make sure to enjoy every moment of it. As once he's out of my way and with this universe destroyed, then it'll be on to the next and so on. But then, it was only from out of nowhere now behind Goku Black where a gigantic Hakai energy ball was then shown making its way towards Goku Black, as Goku Black then went on to respond, "What the? Oh, Vegeta. Getting a little impatient, are we? And do you honestly think that by aiming to erase me is going to work in your favor, Black questions? Because I regret to inform you that it won't." Black went on to use a force attack by having to stop Vegeta's attack in place. "Or maybe you must have forgotten that I am a god, you foolish creature. And since I am a god by blood, my knowledge on what it means to understand the nature of destruction far exceeds your primitive mind to comprehend. And while your display of destruction is quite surprising to say the least, it is nothing that I cannot already handle. And so how will you possibly be able to destroy something that is already far above your very nature to contend with?" To which in the meantime, back down below, as Goku is now starting to awaken and having to look on over and questioning Broly's status, was when Goku then went on to respond, "Oh, this is just bad. Now what are we supposed to go and do? Hey, wait a minute. It's Broly, and he looks like he's still alive, but it also looks like he's in pretty bad shape too. Hold on a second now. Yes, of course," Goku then went on to say to himself. "He's the only one left who could help us make a difference out here against that monster, and, well, although this may in fact be a long shot," Goku adds, "I still have to go and try because it's better than just sitting around here just waiting to die. And so it's worth the try because I know that with his power, nothing would slow us down. Hey, Broly, listen," Goku then went on to crawl towards Broly by responding, "because we don't have a whole lot of time on our hands here, and there's something that I'm going to ask of you that, well, I'm going to need you to go and do with me, and so please just listen, for it's the only option that we have left if we hope to destroy that monster for good. So, remember when I went and told you that I was going to show you that cool little fusion dance that me and Vegeta had went and used against you when we fought you on Earth? Well, we really don't have any time for me to go and teach it to you, but there is something, however, that I want you to go and do for me."
No, this is maddening! It's bad enough that Kakarot has surpassed me in power, but now his son has too?
Here, take this.
Only option that we have left if we hope to destroy that monster for good. So, remember when I went and told you that I was going to show you that cool little fusion dance that me and Vegeta had went and used against you when we fought you on Earth? Well, we really don't have any time for me to go and teach it to you, but there is something, however, that I want you to go and do for me. Because you see, there's another fusion method that you have yet to see, and this one here, well, it simply involves having to put on a pair of earrings for it to work, and I only have one pair. And so all I'm asking for you to go and do, Goku went on to then respond, is to put this earring on so that way you and I would be able able to join bodies for a little, as well as creating a new warrior with enough power that'll blow that monster away for good. And so now there's no telling on what the outcome of our fusion is going to be, but, well, I'll need you to go and try and remain aware and focused so that way we can all go home. And so now here, I'll need you to go and put this earring on right now. To which back on over in the meantime, when then going back to Vegeta as Vegeta was trying to push his own attack back at Goku Black, was when Vegeta then went on to respond, "Oh, damn that monster. I'm barely able to move him from his current place, and I'm seemingly losing more and more ground here as he continues to try and push my attack back. And if he continues to push me back like this, then he'll end up destroying me with my own attack." But with Beast Gohan then shown having to join Vegeta, was when Beast Gohan then went on to respond, "Hang in there, Vegeta. I'm right here alongside with you, okay? And I think that Black knows that if we unite our power, would it only go as far as to destroy him, which is something that he's trying so hard in not letting happen." Well, yeah, I know that," Vegeta responds, "but just keep pushing no matter what happens, because if we can somehow find a way to combine our attacks, then it just might take effect against them and finally rid us of this headache once and for all, and so now keep pushing." "Oh, so this is what you think will work," Makaioshin Black went on to then smile by responding. "Do you mortals honestly believe that trying to outnumber me as I currently am is going to work? Because you can only continue to dream if you think that any of your combined efforts will be enough to stop me, Saiyans. And if you truly think that somehow I may be bluffing here," Black adds, "well then I want you both to remain where you are, and I'll show you on why that couldn't be further from the truth, you little worms. As if any of your powers will be enough to wipe me away from the face of existence. No, never. And so now watch," Black went on to then blow Vegeta's attack by then responding, "watch as I show you both what it truly means to wield the power of a god, as I blow you both away and rid you from this world forever." But then, it was only shockingly enough now from out of nowhere, in between both Vegeta and Beast Gohan, was when Zamasu went on to then finally re-arrive by then responding, "No, you are not alone here, and so as long as he remains, I will continue to fight this beast until my very last breath. And so I can only hope that this works." Zamasu then went on to stick his finger out by then using his time ring and responding, "And while I continue to stand before you, imposter, I will continue to fight you until the very end, no matter what it's going to take, as I will not have you get away with what you've done, you heartless monster." To which it was only upon this alternate Zamasu being shown having to use his time ring in sending Vegeta's attack back into another dimension, was when Black then went on to continue, "What's going on over there? Oh, but how? Curse that weakling of a Kaioshin to go and get in my way yet again, as I was too careless to have assumed that he would have been destroyed by now, but somehow that little worm was able to survive. And as long as he wields one of those time rings and being able to harness its abilities to counter mine," Black continues, "I cannot ensure victory until he is absolutely and utterly destroyed, never to return or get in my way ever again. And so he must be the first. For I cannot allow for this to stand, and so I must ensure that he is the first to die, as the rest of them will soon follow. I'll curse that traitorous little worm of a so-called Kaioshin. I was too careless to have made sure that he was gone and gone for good, but now I'll make sure that he pays." Wait, what was that just now? A sudden burst of energy was then shown emanating from behind Goku Black. That power. What is that huge surge of power that I'm sensing coming from within that blinding light source within the distance? No, surely it can't be what I think it is, can it? Because that would be impossible. For Vegeta and Son Goku were nowhere near one another for them to have went behind my back and fused, unless, of course, they... But then, it was only now suddenly from out of nowhere above Goku Black where another light was beginning to emanate, with Goku Black then having to look up by responding, "Great, now what? Oh, for this one feels different. Almost as though, but of course. But how was that weasel able to break free and make his way here?" To which, surprisingly enough, from out of nowhere, with both Angel Cuss and Kaioshin Gowasu now making their presence known, was when Angel Cuss then went on to respond, "Well, since you appear to be confused and wondering as to what is going on, it was I who went and had broken Lord Gowasu free from his captive status. For so as long as you are without an assigned Kaioshin after giving Gowasu up in order for you to go and find another to replace him as your direct Kaioshin lifeline, I do not serve you and never will," with Gowasu having to then chime in, "And while your plans to go through with becoming Universe 10's official destroyer was nearly successful, since the alternate future Zamasu had went and declined your offers in joining forces with you and being your direct Supreme Kai, while you are still able to wield the power of a destroyer, you are not one by title after Zamasu had rejected you," Gowasu adds, "and while we are all gathered together here, we cannot stand to watch you go through with destroying any more mortals alongside those who are gods by blood." "But that's impossible," Black went on to then suddenly shout. "Whether or not that fool Zamasu had accepted my offer or not, you are still to follow my every command, Angel, and so why did you go and set this feeble old Kai free when I told you to have him remain in place? You lied to me is what you did, and so why are you both here? For I order you to take that Kai and return back into Universe 10 immediately, Angel. Right now!" With Gowasu then having to respond, "She will go and do no such thing, and while you stand there before us without the alliance of another Zamasu to aid you in your quest for control," Gowasu says, "heed my words, for what I'm about to go and show you symbolizes the very bond between Kaioshin and Destroyer, which was a balance that you've recklessly had gone and disrupted," Gowasu says, "as both your greed and your relentless pursuit of a misguided ideal will be your ultimate undoing. And should I go and step forth and reclaim my mantle as your Kaioshin," Gowasu went on to continue, "then understand that it will be with the intent to restore the balance that you have destroyed and stop your reign of terror for good. For this that you see here hovering above my hand is the key and the direct source of what it means to be connected to one another, and should I accept to be your Kaioshin," Gowasu adds, "then you must already know of what I'm prepared to do if it means stopping you, Black. And while this is not a path that I choose to go down lightly, but it is one that is dictated by the necessity of justice which I look to uphold." "No, surely you haven't lost your mind to actually consider on doing this now, have you?" Black went on to then question, "And what makes you think that connecting yourself to me and being my Supreme Kai will actually be what works?" Black questions. "What makes you think that you will truly be successful in defeating me here, Gowasu?" With Gowasu responding, "No, I have not, but if it means that I would need to lay my life on the line and wager my existence to ensure that this nightmare that you continue to put us all through is over, then I can only promise you here and now that although I may not be as powerful as you, Zamasu, I will undoubtedly find a way to slow you down if it's the last thing that I do." With Goku Black then having to say to himself, "I'll curse that annoying waste of life and that backstabbing Angel, for I was wrong to have went and assumed that she would be fully on my side, but alas, if I am to make sure that I can succeed, then I must go and rip that seal away from him as quickly as I possibly can before he goes and tries anything on me by using it," Black says, "and so I cannot take any chances, for both Gowasu and that coward Zamasu must die first." As it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of Goku Black's resurrection manga chapter number 19 special then comes to a close.
Actually, I'll go and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something with all of our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing. knowing, as not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link it all down in the description box below and pinned comment section. Now I will go as far as to say that even though I am quite shocked to see Universe 10's Supreme Kai alongside its angel suddenly arrive to confront Goku Black, if there was ever a better time for our heroes to drive the final nail into Goku Black's coffin, then there is no other moment better for them to go and do so than this one right now. And while I understand that Goku Black by no means will be going down without putting up a fight, it appears as though we have a new fusion warrior who has just entered the fray, and so you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video. As before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to Unreal Gaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell. Me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
This ain't JJK, my boy. You can try to jump people all you want, but if you get one-man army, you probably gonna get put in one of these TikToks. Bojack's whole gang found that out the hard way when they pulled up on Earth and disrupted the natural order of the Z Fighters. Don't get me wrong though, these guys were strong. I mean, they clapped up the Z Fighters for the most part. Trunks and Vegeta were there as well, but it wasn't until Gohan turned Super Saiyan 2 again that things took a different turn. Bojack was seconds away from finishing him off before Goku activated the hacks and intervened somehow, but when Gohan transformed, it was lights out. 4, 5, 6v1. I don't even remember how many of these guys there were. That's how fast they got erased by Gohan. The homie Gohan was treating them like Cell Juniors, just exploding on impact like balloons, and he gave Bojack a one-way ticket to God. Business as usual for Gohan when it counts, right?